And we're live. What's going on, everyone? It's Talks with Kenny here today. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Oh, not weekend, future weekend. I'm already blessing y'all for the next weekend. And a lot of stuff has been going on this week. You know, the Crowder stuff. Apparently, this clip's going viral with whatever podcast. Everyone's reacting to it. I'm only planning to be here for an hour, guys. I'm sorry to let you guys down. I'm only gonna be here for an hour, and I'm just gonna talk about productive stuff. If I have time over, I might get into some of the Crowder stuff, but to me, that's drama. That's personal people's business. I don't like commentary on it, but I want to get my thoughts kind of on it. Probably give it in a separate video. And also, for those watching this on the replay, I want to know, would you guys rather me cover news on my lives instead of creating separate videos for my news? Or do you prefer the style that I'm currently doing right now? Let me know in the comment section. Let me know in the live chat if you're in the live chat. I'm playing around with some of the content, trying to see how I could, I guess, cover both sides. I don't know. And also for one of my talks, not my talks, but I'll be. Hey, Koi, how are you? I'm trying to remember. This is why when you do things live, I have another announcement. So next week I'm gonna be off, so you'll be noticing me uploading a lot this week. So give me some comments or some thoughts that you guys have in the comment section on what I should do videos on, what topics are you guys interested in, and I'll try to find a video for that. But without further ado, let's get into the topic. So the theme of this live stream is about how the left is gaslighting people that disagree with them. And I want to use this analysis from the Daily Wire from Randy Weingarten. I should have worked on the pronunciation. Is gaslighting us. She fought to keep schools closed but not open. She now claims that the union, which is the teachers union, tried to do everything they could to reopen schools safely. Which I remember teacher unions were the main one against reopening schools because they were like, no, we don't want to get COVID, even though science told you there was a low transmission rate with COVID. And I'm not a big fan of the teachers unions, if you guys can tell. So Wingington, president of the American Federation of Teachers, the second largest teachers union in America, now claims she tried to do everything she can to reopen schools safely.
Nope.
This is four-dimensional gaslighting. Weingarten is trying to revise history. Her union aggressively pushed at the national and local levels to keep school closed, making unscientific demands about safety, which is what we were talking about with the kids. And then here's some tweets. This is a lie. Delete your account. And she's trying to say COVID scared the nation, or scarred the nation, sorry. But we tried to do everything we could to reopen schools safely. It would have helped if Trump and DeVos helped instead of heckled. Now we must do everything we can to help the children learn and overcome the effects of the pandemic. And then here's the reading. Oh my God, Twitter, the savagery. Sorry guys. Sorry for the replay, gang. I'm reading chats right now. I really like you going over the topics such as Marxism, journalism, and other things more in depth and point out things most people don't know, rather than doing it live though. To have an hour long. Yeah, I would do that, but I don't know. I don't know how well those videos will perform. I think I will do those live. Like I'll continue doing those like purely live stream ones. I think that would be the case. I think that I will need to do for more short form content. Like for my long forms, I want those snippets to be used for like people who are new to my channel to see, and then if they like it, subscribe. In the lives, I'll try to go more in depth with what's going on. But yeah, I appreciate that, Koi. I appreciate it. Normal videos, then a Q&A on Friday about it. Yeah, I think that would be a good format. I'll keep that in mind. I'll probably play this back and write it down. I appreciate the comments, Koi. I really do. So let's get back into the video. Twitter savage. They already added readers added context. In July of 2020, Randy threatened strikes if schools return in person. And they got the links to it as well. Oh my God. Good job, Elon Musk, man. And this is more, and I prefer that these contexts better than what the context we get here on YouTube, because sometimes if you talk about certain things, YouTube will put context on it and you just give you a Wikipedia link, like, or Wikipedia statement about this. It doesn't really clarify any. doesn't give any real benefit to the context or not. It doesn't refute anything claimed in the video or not. It just says, oh, look, this is what it is. It's accept it, right? They try to appeal to authority when they're not really recounting any arguments. But this context, you get news, you see what the instance they're talking about. This is awesome. Twitter, Elon did a good job. So I don't want to get long-winded. I just want to play this video.
We don't know each other, but speaking on behalf of millions.
Oh, no. Oh, buffer. My bad, guys.
I have 4 at home. I had to teach them at home. My wife had to teach them at home. I am stunned at what you have said this week about your claiming to have wanted to reopen schools. I think you'll find that most parents believe you were the tip of the spear of school closures. There are numerous statements you made over the summer of 20, scaring people to death about the possibility of opening schools. And
yep, she was fear mongering, boy. Get him, get him, get him, get him. And this is the kind of thing that the left like to do. They like to play these little games like, oh, they'll say one thing in the past, be so sure about themselves about this thing in the past, and then when the facts come out in the history, prove the other side right, they want to act like they always had that position all along. Yeah, professional gaslighters. And that's what the left is becoming. Professional gaslighters, right? They think they can reimagine history, cherry pick history, and make claims about history. Oh, America's a racist country. Cherry picking a specific point of history, right? Or leaving out context like the entire world was participating in slavery, but for some reason, America is the worst of all of them. I don't understand. But you know, lefty gonna lefty. Oh, I didn't play the video. My bad, guys. No, I'm still warming up. I'm still warming up.
Whatsoever about the generational damage that's been done to these kids. I have 2 kids with learning differences. Do you know how hard it is for them to learn at home and not in a classroom that was designed for them? And for you to sit in front of Congress and the American people and say, oh, I wanted to open them the whole time. I am shocked. I'm stunned.
And then the left like to call people on the right liars. I think the left like to keep their people ignorant, right? They'll call you, when you say information that they can't really refute, they'll just call you a liar because it's easier to call you names and actually counter and rebuttal your argument, right? And this is why I think a lot of people should stop like trusting Democrats or lefties on face value. Actually, just to be fair, don't trust anyone on face value. Always say, okay, that's his claim. Let me go verify it for myself. Self-verify. Always verify. Trust, but verify, right? I think that's the name of the game. I think America can go really far if we follow that principle, regardless of whatever political affiliation you are. I digress. Let's get back into this clip. 5 seconds left, guys.
I'm stunned. And there are millions of parents who feel the exact same way.
Okay. Go ahead, Ryan.
Owned. Sitting here trying to virtue signal and you get owned. Craziness. Yeah, man. Teachers unions, look, in my opinion, teachers union do not have the best interest at heart for the kids or the parents, right? Because at the end of the day, I'm a big advocate of school choice. Some of you may or may not know. I want the money to follow the kids, not necessarily be already invested into a school system where my kid's not even going to the damn school. Like, why are you wasting taxpayer money on a seat that's not being filled by my kid? Let my tax dollars follow my kid. So that way I can make private school cheaper so it's more affordable for me and my family to afford it. Or we can use those resources to stay home and homeschool our kid, right? Everyone's supposed to have access to education, right? There's all the socialists say, oh, we should be like Sweden, but Sweden got school choice. Oh, you don't want to be, now you don't want to be like Sweden. It's baffling to me, you know, like a typical lefty. They like to pick and choose what they want. And then when they don't see no benefit in it, they don't want to apply it. Many reasons why the teacher unions are against school choice is because it threatens their job security and their monopoly on education. 70% of children in the U.S. and I'll claim the world are educated in public school. That's a lot of power and influence, and these teacher unions want to keep that. This is why they don't want to let it go. Because at the end of the day, government creates monopolies too. And if there was a monopoly corporation out there, everyone's going to be like, oh, that's a bad thing. There's a monopoly, FPL, a monopoly. But for some reason, we're okay with monopolies when the government deem it so. How nice. But yeah, I don't want to ramble too much. I'm trying to stay under an hour. I'm so trying to get you the videos you guys came here for. So next story is going to be more of an entertainment thing. Gotta keep it lighthearted. Too much hard news today. Dylan Mulvaney addresses followers for the first time since Bud Light controversy. All my Bud Light fans, you're gonna love this one. Dylan Mulvaney addressed fans Thursday for the first time since the Bud Light controversy took the nation by storm. Mulvaney, who boasts a $10.8 million, oh my God, followers. Imagine that. What benefit these people getting? I don't know. Maybe someone can tell me. On TikTok and 1.8 million followers on Instagram shared a video discussing why the influencer was offline for a few weeks. Should I play the video? Someone in the replay is gonna say, Kenny, you should have played the video, so I'm gonna play the video. Hopefully there's no music in the background.
It's day 9,610 of being a human, and I'm gonna try to leave gender out of this since that's how we found ourselves here. I've been offline for a few weeks, and a lot has been said about me, some of which is so far from my truth that I was like hearing my name.
If anyone knows me or you've been following my channel, those are the worst things you can say to me. My truth. That's subjective. Objective, you're a man. You're a biological male. Okay? I'm going to call you by your name. That's how I show respect. But at the end of the day, you can't force me to call you something that you are not. Okay? If I point in reality, remember, to me, language has a purpose. It has a function. The point of language is to communicate. And I believe you hinder my ability to properly communicate to you when you use things like my truth. You say my belief, my opinion, my truth, whatever. You already conceded ground that what you're saying is not objectively true. Because end of the day, I care about things outside of myself. Like end of the day, things outside of me takes precedent over my feelings. It doesn't matter how I feel about something. The truth is the truth. If you think you're a woman and you're in all reality you're a man, when you die, when they dig up your bones, you're a man. The bone structure you have in your body, male, typical male. Your center of gravity is higher. Like, everything in reality is screaming that you're a man. No matter how much you try to dress it up, right? You could put lipstick on a pig, but it's still going to be a pig. I'm not saying that's what you are, but you can follow my conclusion, my logic there. But I digress. Let's continue with the video.
And I didn't even know who they were talking about sometimes. It's a very disassociative feeling. And it was so loud that I didn't even feel part of the conversation. So I decided to take the back seat and just let them tucker themselves out. But then I remembered that nearly 13 million people at some point enjoyed me enough to hit the follow button on these apps. And I was like, wait. I want to talk to those people. So hi, long time no talk. How are you? You might want to grab a beverage. This is going to be a longer one. But I'm doing okay. And I'm trying.
I don't even know how long the video is. I don't know. Like, should I just scroll past it? Okay, I'm gonna scroll past it. Okay, so we're gonna read his statement. A lot has been said about me, Mulvaney said in the clip, which was posted on both platforms, some of which is so far from the truth that I was hearing my name and I didn't know it was me, blah, blah, blah. We heard that. He claims to be okay and has been called too feminine and over the top, reminded the influencer of being teased during childhood. But this time it's from other adults, Mulvaney said, and if they're going to accuse me of anything, it should be that I am a theater person and that I'm camp. I don't know what that means, but this is just my personality, and it's always been. What I'm struggling to understand is the need to dehumanize and to be cruel. Where are we dehumanizing and being cruel? And this is one of the, you guys seeing the theme here. This is one of the ways people on the left tries to get you to submit to their worldview. They try to claim that you're so bad, you're so angry, cruel, whatever words they try to use to try to get you to back down. And I'm just saying no. Question them. Hey, how you arrive to that conclusion? How do you arrive to, because I call you what I believe to be objectively true, and I have evidence to back up my claim of you, How is it dehumanizing and cruel? Because it doesn't go with your worldview. It doesn't validate your feelings about yourself. This is reality, bro. I'm sorry. This is what I live in. It's like me telling, hey, one day you will die. I know, it got real dark real quick. And people go like, oh, you should tell me that. But that's reality. You can't escape it. It's going to happen. One day, our time is going to be up. It could be tomorrow. It could be the next day. Shoot. Who knows? But me telling you that reality is, oh my God, you're so dehumanizing, Kenny. How could you be so cruel? I don't know what's going on. I got some new. Who's this? Oh, Base Zoomer. Haven't seen you in a while. What's up? How are you? Hope everything's doing well. Because he's making fun of women and making women seem like a funny, comical character you can easily wear whenever you want. Hey, that's what they say. I grew up in a conservative family and I'm extremely privileged because they still love me very much. And I grew up in a church and I still have my faith, which I am really trying to hold on to right now. Mulvaney said, mentioning always trying to love everyone, even the people that make it really, really hard. And I have a thing about how a lot of conservatives families, they seem to produce these liberals. And a part of the reason I think what happens is that the fact that kids are in school so like they spend more time in class and school more than they do their actual family. And if that conservative family doesn't actually arm their kids with knowledge and information to properly defend their ideals and beliefs, it's easier for that kid's mind to be changed. For instance, like that's why I read so much. This is why I try to read. I try to be as knowledgeable as I can. So when my son come up with information, he's armed with knowledge and information where if someone makes a claim, he can debunk it. He said, oh, that's not true because of this. Oh, my dad believed in this because of this. My dad believes that transgenderism is a false concept because it's not rooted in reality. Oh, well, reality is subjective. Oh, well, what's objective? If there's a wall in front of your face and you try to run through the wall, objectively the wall's there. But if you believe the wall doesn't exist, who wins in the end? Right? And these are kind of things that I think conservative families, they should try to instill, I guess, their values in them. Like, stop being scared to, I guess, teach your kids. Because I know, like, a lot of the times, and I think it's in our American westernized culture to trust the teachers. But at this point in time, I think this the things that's been going on recently with the whole homeschooling movement, school choice, is the culture is actually challenging parents to actually be more involved with their children. And that's the silver lining I see in all this craziness, is that parents shouldn't be so passive in the education of their children. Just as the schools are teaching your children stuff, you teach your kids stuff as well. Teach them values too. Teach them your values. Teach them your beliefs. Arm them. Let them know why you believe the things you believe. And it makes it a lot easier. It makes them more critically thinking, to the point where they'll be able to properly defend their ideas, at least know where you're coming from. Because I think that's what happened with me. Because I've always been like, when I was not politically involved, I was politically neutral, because I say, oh, I can see why people could be a Democrat and I can see why people can be a Republican. But when someone come up and say, oh, Democrats are evil or Republicans are stupid and liars, and I'll be like, no, you just don't value the same things they do. And they always kept me balanced. And I think that's one thing that we do a disservice to our kids in this culture. And hopefully, millennials and Gen Z, we can change that. Like, we can start creating a trend where parents are more involved with their kids, teaching them the principles and their values and their beliefs, because we need it. We definitely need it. But I digress. Let's get back into it. Finally, Mulvaney indicated that the videos will continue in service to fans who knows him and my heart and won't listen to that noise. The good news is that people pleasers in me has nearly died, because there's clearly no way of winning over everyone. But if you're still around, I am too, Mulvaney concluded. The TikTok star, who became famous for documenting the so-called transition process at which the series called Days of Girlhood, where he proceeded to pretend to be a woman for an entire year. That's my quote, sorry. Started an uproar after posting about a brand partnership with Bud Light on April 1st. I don't think I need to go over what happened. I already covered this video. I covered it in the video today on Friday, so I can move on from this topic. But yeah, I can move on from this topic. So Mulvaney, I think recently he got right back online. So Megyn Kelly and him got into an exchange, not an exchange, but Megyn Kelly went viral for a 7-word response that she gave to Dylan, since he was complaining about being labeled a man, which he is objectively, right? Megyn Kelly has gone viral with her 7-word response to a video of trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney complaining about being labeled a man by some news outlets and some YouTubers as well. The host of the Megyn Kelly show tweeted on Friday to her 2.7 million followers her thoughts about after Dylan claimed it should be illegal to use he to describe the influencer. So this man's actually Dylan's actually fighting for compelled speech, which was what made Jordan Peterson viral across the world. Because end of the day, your rights end where mine begin, Dylan. And it's your right to believe however you want to believe about yourself. Your self-perception is yours and yours alone. But your rights end where you try to compel me to do something that I don't want to. If I see you as a man, you look like a man, you walk like a man, you talk like a man, you look like a man, you biologically are a man, then you're a man. It's the duck test, right? If it walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, it's a duck. That's what you are, Dylan. You can't escape it. No matter how much you think in your head you're something else, you're not. I wish I was a 6'8" power forward making millions of dollars playing in the NBA, but that's not reality. No matter how much of my self-perception I believe that to be true. And we need to stop trying to create laws to validate individuals, because that's not a right. That's a privilege. To be validated by other people, a law that's compelling other people to validate their worldview of themselves, that stuff you usually earn. But having a law to force that, it
doesn't make sense.
It don't make sense, Dylan. So guess what? So as you can tell, Megan's response was, move to Canada, Dylan. You'll love it. Because in Canada they have speech laws where if you misgender somebody, it's an offense. You can go to jail for misgendering somebody. So here's the tweet. And here, I'm not going to play the video. We already know what he's going to say. And I got tired of hearing his voice already. Kelly's Canada comment appeared to refer to the Canada's court ruling from 2021 that stated deliberate misgendering in the workplace is a human rights violation. I don't agree. Yeah, Canada is a mess. I don't agree. How? How, Sway? How?
It doesn't matter how it makes you feel.
Like it baffles me. Like, that's not a human right. That's a privilege. And I think this is the difference between a liberal and a conservative, is that liberals perceive entitlements as rights. Oh, rights to healthcare, a right to housing, a right to equal whatever wage. Those are entitlements. You're not entitled to that stuff. I grew up in the Bible. My parents Christian. I used to go to church young. I grew up on man don't work, man don't eat. If you want something, you got to work for it. You get the results after you do the work. You don't get the results and then you do the work. That's not how life works. You pillage the field, you plant your seed, and you grow it, you nurture it, you take care of it, and eventually over time, you have a tree where you can eat fruit from. You know them by their fruit. And to enshrine this and claim that it's a human right. End of the day, this is what I describe right, what's a right and what's an entitlement. A right is you can do something without needing the consent of someone else. For instance, healthcare, for instance. Is healthcare a right under my definition? No, it's not. Healthcare is a service because I need the consent of the other person that's giving me the service to do it. If a doctor doesn't want to do surgery on me, I can't force the doctor to do surgery on me because that goes against his rights, because I'm trying to compel him to do something that he does not want to do. A right is I can speak. I could start this YouTube channel. I could press this button right now.
How dare you?
And I don't need no one else's consent to do that. That's within my rights. That's why free speech is protected. The right to protect myself is protected in the Constitution. That's what a right is. But the minute my wants bleed over from my bounds of my control, it's a service. Oh, guys, I want you to subscribe. I can't make you guys subscribe. That's not in my rights. I need your consent for you guys to subscribe. and you have to be willing to subscribe. Just like the like button, guys. If you haven't liked the video already, I really would appreciate you if you like the video. You get me? I can't control that. Only it's up to you. I give a proposition. I say, hey, look, I hope my stream's been valuable enough. Like the stream, and then you choose. I don't want to like the stream, or I want to like the stream. But at the end of the day, that's your choice. How you respond to that. But then you can't go in, make a law, and be like, oh, like the stream, or else you go to jail. Bruh. Is that really free will? That's like having a gun to your head. Is that really free will? I'm only saying what you're supposed to say, so I don't get a punishment. Compel speech. That's not free. That's not free speech. That's not free will. You know. But hey, I digress. Oh, goodbye, Koyi. Appreciate you watching the stream. So the courts found that doing so violated British Columbia Human Rights Act, which is true. While violating the rules will not result in arrest, the CBC noted it could result in thousands of dollars in fines and forced inclusion training. Imagine that. You pretty much going to a re-education camp because you misgender somebody. At the time of the publication, the former Fox News host post had been viewed 1.3 million times and counting. Kelly's post included a tweet from Daily Wire host Matt Walsh, who responded to Mulvaney's video. Dylan calls for the arrest of people who calls him a man. Walsh tweeted in his 1.7 million followers. Do you think I've been too mean to this guy? It's not, I guess not mean enough. Like the article written about me using he pronouns and calling me a man over and over, I feel like that should be illegal. I don't know. That's just bad journalism, Mulvaney said in an October 2020 video. Oh, so this is a old video back in the day. Now, people be finding some old videos and just bringing it up. Mulvaney addressed fans for the first time since TikTok started. Oh, and I already got into it. I'm not really going to get into this article. So my whole theme of the video is the left is gaslighting people who disagree with them. So Brittany Griner. It's a crime to stop biological males from competing against women, right? It's a crime, she says. I mean, it's debatable if you really are she, but yes, she's a she. Brittany Griner, who was free from Russia prison late last year, is in a prison swap was for a notorious Russian terrorist. They cried legless. Give me the buzzer, guys. Legislation being pushed across the U.S. that aims to protect biological females from having to compete against biological males. It's Title IX, guys. Like women want their own spaces, right? So why allowing men that simply self-categorize themselves as a woman and allow them in those same spaces? I don't understand. Bill Rawdon from ESPN asked Griner about the matter during a press conference on Thursday. You've always represented so much throughout your entire career and about access and, being able to do stuff. And I hate to be put one more thing on your plate, but there has been a number of states who are aggressively moving to prevent transgender athletes from playing, he began. And I was wondering again, I'll hate to say to put one more. Yo, all this like butt kissing, bro, just get on with it. You're going to have a tremendous platform, but what is tremendous platform? I don't think so. But I mean, some people see her that way. But where is this going to be on your radar in terms of advocating for athletes? All transgender athletes being able to play. I believe transgender athletes should play with their biological sex. That way it's still somewhat fair. Griner responded, I mean, that ranks high on the list of things that I'll be fighting for and speaking up against. Everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come, sit in these seats and feel safe and not feel like there's a threat or they could be who they are. Or like it's just all eyes on them. So I think it's a crime, honestly, to separate someone for that reason. Griner claimed. So I definitely will be speaking against those that I guess I don't know if that's a typo, but I'll be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed for sure. So Brittany Griner is all for the trans movement. They're gonna come in, tomahawk dunk on her. Hey, look, if this might help the WNBA. If I'm being honest, if I'm being honest, this is probably going to help the WNBA if they get transgender males in there, because it'll actually be exciting to watch. And she's going to lose her job because when you get look, I used to play basketball. There's 6'2" men that can dunk on a 6'8" Griner easy. With light work, they wouldn't even break a sweat. It's just going to be called the miniature NBA at this point. But this is and you could blame feminism for this, because feminism brought up this idea that gender was a social construct, and then John Money took it to its conclusion, saying, okay, if gender is a social construct, that means gender is separated from sex. And now here we are. We got biological women advocating for men to come and take over their spots. This goes against the self-preservation. And I think it's in women's nature kind of not to be confrontational, to the point where they risk doing something against their own best interest just so they don't appear to be seen as mean or cruel or discriminatory. It's baffling to me. And this is one of the ways how the left wins every time in our culture war, because they'll come in, call you mean names, say you're cruel, say you're this or you're that, when really in reality it's them they're saying, oh, you're not tolerant. What they mean is you don't submit to our worldview. They're the pushy ones. They're the ones who are trying to get everyone to fall in line. And this is the stuff that women have to stand up to. You know, you got Dylan Mulvaney out here doing Maybelline. You got Leah Thomas here. Like, here's the article. You got Leah Thomas here. Leah got some balls. Gutfeld, I think out of the Fox News stuff, Gutfeld's the only talent I think left that can actually save Fox News or replace Tucker Carlson. Right? Gutfeld mocks Leah Thomas for telling women how to behave. Right? Because there was an interview that Leah Thomas did. I won't go too much into the article. Maybe there's a video. Yes, there is. And here's what he had to say, what Leah Thomas had to say.
Well, but don't want to, I guess, fully manifest or speak that out.
Judge, is Leah Thomas mansplaining feminism?
He's not only doing that, he's basically saying that if you are a feminist, that you are transphobic. Okay?
Well, technically, Leah Thomas is wrong here. I don't know if I would watch the WNBA with trans. I don't know any large demographic that would. Well, it'll be a lot more closer to the NBA, I guess. But I'm just saying, like, because there's already transgender females that are fighting against biological women in the UFC, and people are watching that. So I think a lot of people will watch it just to see, like, I don't know. Because end of the day, it's kind of entertaining. If you see those videos where they go men versus women, those videos go viral. I don't know if you've seen those videos. Like, if you look at any video, men versus women playing high school basketball, it's just something about, like, seeing the reality that women can't compete with men. It goes viral. It's like wildfire. So, hey, yeah, and Leah Thomas also has some a documented fetish for being seen naked by women. I don't know. So,
Okay.
hey, only time can tell. I mean, it's a slow, like, to me, things will have to get really worse before people actually understand, okay, let's stop. Like, imagine, it's like the gladiators. Like people used to watch other people kill each other for fun. That went on for a long time. And this what's going on right here. Embarrassment, and is not as harsh as people dying in the Coliseum. So I think this can go on for a long time, especially if we don't fight back against this thing, or this gets no type of repercussion. It's just going to continue nonstop. So we'll see. So I'm gonna let this video play a little bit, and then I'll go on to the next article.
The two, you know, I don't care if you're transphobic. If this is what you want, then go for it. But stop competing with women and being superior to them. Now, I have all of...
Leah Thomas was, like, I think ranked 200 when Leah Thomas still identified himself as a man. And this guy, overnight, he said, hey, I'm a woman now. Became the #1 women's swimmer in the world. Bruh. And you don't think this is going to set up false precedent? More men are doing this route now. Right? There's this thing called transmaxing, where dudes who are like loners, or they say to themselves, they intentionally become transgender because they notice that people give them more attention for that stuff and validate their existence for that stuff. This is we glamorizing this stuff. And this is why I think it's so important for the boycott against Dylan Mulvaney, to show, hey, there's some pushback here. Ain't all sunshine and rainbows here. So stop it. Get some help. I digress. Let's get into it.
His awards since transitioning. I mean, I have like 20 things that he won since he transitioned. Defeating women who are real women. I mean, you know, when you have a period, you know, give me a call. And right now, that's it. I'm done.
Hey, she's speaking facts, bro. Like, none of this is rooted in reality, man. I think we're living in a society where they say, hey, emotions over feelings over facts. If it makes someone feel bad, it's wrong. That's wrong. Instead of if you lie to somebody or you saying inaccurate information, that's wrong. No, if the inaccurate information makes the person feel better about themselves, that is okay. That is moral. That is righteous, right? Instead of making objective truth righteous, like, hey, as long as you say the truth, that's righteous. No, now we're trying to sugarcoat things. We're trying to lie to people because we're trying to spare people's feelings. And that's what we hold in our society today as the highest form of virtue and morality. Nope. That should not be the case. It
doesn't matter how it makes you feel.
The truth will set you free. There's a reason it's the same for a reason. If I see something in you and I say, hey, you gotta stop smoking, bro. It's killing your health. But it don't make you feel good hearing that. How you know, how you quantify someone care about you? They care about your feelings more, or they care about your health. In the long term, you'll die in 20 years if you keep this up. But if I tell you something, you lose, you get mad at me for a moment, maybe a year, I could have saved your life. What shows who I can? Because when you try to spare someone's feelings, in reality, you're caring about yourself. You're not really caring about the other person because you're doing something what's comfortable and easy for you to do. Oh, let me not hurt their feelings. You're not doing the other person a favor. But if you tell them the truth, it makes you uncomfortable. It makes them uncomfortable. But in reality, that's the better choice to do because then the person gets a wake-up call. Then the person realizes they're making a mistake. And this is one of the reasons why, like, black kids in public school, they perform they don't perform as well compared to other schools. That's why they perform so bad in public schools. Because in public schools, they don't hold the black kids to the same standards of other kids. If a black kid make a mistake and you say, hey, you know, ink it up. Hey, you need to fix this. Oh, it's racist to call out their mistakes. Oh, okay, I won't call out their mistakes then. Is that kid a better student or a worse student after that? You spared his feelings. Now he won't, he'll feel confident about himself. In our society, we seem to value self-esteem more than self-control. Self-control is recognizing, yeah, this may not feel good, but it's what I need to do. I may not like waking up early in the morning, but hey, this is what I need to do to have more time and to be more productive in my life, even though it's a harder thing for me to do. We are a society that chases pleasure over principles and purpose. Hey, I have a purpose. I'm out here. I'm trying to get my voice bigger. Okay, I need to do the work. It don't matter if I don't feel like shooting a video today. It's the purpose. What's the purpose? Purpose is success. The purpose is to get an accomplishment. I have to sacrifice to get that. And that's not the most pleasurable thing to do. But in our society, we want to stay comfortable, complacent. And this is what happened to America. This is what happened when we get caught up in consumerism. Just spend money to make us feel better. We got Uber Eats. We got all this stuff because people are so comfortable not getting outside their house. Oh, I don't want to take the extra work to get out of my car, get dressed up, drive somewhere to a place to eat, order the food, pick up the food and come back. I don't want to do all that. I'm just going to go on my app and then get someone else to do it. You paying what? An extra $15 on top of the food that you were going to spend money just so you don't have to go get the food. Sometimes I think social media. Sometimes I think smartphones really condition us to be lazy and look for convenience. Because now we look at it for everything. Oh, I don't want to work that hard. Is there a shortcut to doing something? Nope. And this is what we got to. Shortcut culture. Convenience culture. So now you get this guy here. All right, we're gonna put him up here. Leah Thomas. What's the easier thing to do? Stay being ranked 200th in the world and compete against men, work harder, train better, train more effectively, get better skilled at my craft so I can compete at a higher level in the men's division? Or I don't have to work as hard if I just transfer over to the women's division and compete against them and have a overwhelming advantage over them, even on hormone, whatever he's on. That's all I'm trying to say. Hey, that's all I'm trying to say. We value comfort over pain, principle, purpose, whatever. We become complacent as a culture, and that complacency is bleeding over into other things where people will go to the path of least resistance. What's the path of least resistance? Transition to a woman and beat the snot out of them. So Serena Williams, the best woman tennis player in the world, cannot even beat a guy ranked at the bottom 200. Drunk. Dude was drunk. Ranked 200. She still couldn't beat him. Number one woman in the world can't beat a guy that's ranked 200th in the men's division, and he was drunk. Goddamn. I'm just saying. I'm going to get into some of the chat, some of you guys' reactions to what I just said before I move on to the next article. This is like, what, halftime? I'm halfway through already. I'm at 40 minutes in. So let me see what you guys been saying. Once you see it kind of once, I think that was from the men versus women thing. That's true. Be Aussie. They're the most taken advantage of. Man, solid points, all connected to human psyche. It is. Moloch progressing at a large scale. Let the sacrifice flow in. It's funny because in my personal experience, this is from legendary Pony Torcella. I don't know how to say the last one. Sorry if I butchered that. Doing G yourself is more frustrating in the short term, but vastly more fulfilling in the long term. Yes, you're going after. It's something the Stoics talk about. Like, you know, those guys behind me, those wise people behind me, they represent reason, right? And they talk about how there's two paths that everybody is faced, right? And they call it the crossroad. They personify it, or they mythologize it as the crossroads of Hercules, where you can choose the path of vice or the path of the path of virtue. So the path of vice is, it looks fun, it looks fulfilling. You look, oh my God, you having fun. That's the materialistic, like, oh, go with your desires. That's hedonism. Vice represents hedonism. While virtue, they say it makes a quiet call, like, oh, you know, I may not look like flashy, but I assure you, it's hard work. You're gonna hate it sometimes, but this is the more fulfilling path. And that talks about virtue, striving for meaning, purpose in life, instead of just hedonistic pleasure in life. Like, and it's bad for you, because at the end of the day, they say what? Slow money, fast money, slow problems. It's the same thing. And I have this saying, this is my own encapsulation of this thing I internalized in myself. If you do what's hard, your life will be easy. If you do what's easy, your life will be hard. That's how I would simplify what I just said succinctly. But I digress. Has been haunting me recently. I don't know how to say it either. I'm glad to have you guys on the stream. So next step is we're going to talk about some hard politics. You know, I've been giving you guys the entertainment. So Charlemagne the God blasted the DNC for potentially not allowing Biden to be primaried. Left-wing media personality Charlemagne the God flamed the Democratic Party this week over reports that the party may not allow 80-year-old President Joe Biden to face primary challengers in the 2024 re-election. Charlemagne made the remark while speaking with comedian Andrew Schultz on a podcast this week. Charlemagne started out mocking Biden's campaign announcement video. When you start your video off and it says you're in a condition to run, Biden said, basting out laughing. Oh boy, I need to see this. Democrats are goofies, bro. Like, how goofy y'all are. Schultz said, y'all really judge Trump and people who like Trump when you got this motherfucker running again? The clip then cuts to Biden's video, which shows Biden saying personal freedom is fundamental to those we are as Americans. There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred that has been worked of my first term to fight for our democracy. Ain't you embarrassed to be a Democrat? Schultz asked. I'm not a Democrat, Charlemagne responded. I'm not Republican either. So he's an independent, right? And I think this is what I want most black people to be. I want most black people. I want most black people, black Americans, to be non-party affiliated. That's my goal with this channel. That's my middle ground. My best case is you become conservative and you vote Republican. That's my best case. But my thing is, hey, my main premise is, hey, Black America, you should not be loyal to the Democratic Party at all. Especially when you see the contrast now. One guy doesn't want the party is saying, yo, we ain't gonna sponsor no Democratic debates. We're only gonna back Biden, bruh. And they talking about Black conservatives are coon sellouts. Yo, they telling you, they dictating to you who you should vote for, who you should not. It's crazy, bro. Like, it's crazy what they deal with. Charlamagne later said that it was whack that the DNC won't let nobody primary. Yeah, because they choose what's best for you. Because if you don't vote for Joe Biden, you ain't black, Charlamagne the God. That's what he said to him in his face. Wow. I wish a white dude tell me I ain't black because I don't want to vote for him. What do you mean? What do you mean they got choices? They don't have any choices. I don't think so. Because, for the Republican Party, at least they got Ron DeSantis. To me, the Democratic Party is not like deep. Because even if Trump don't run, you got two people you can list off. Okay, you got Ron DeSantis, Vivek Ramaswamy. That's me. That's my personal opinion. Okay, I got two of his books here. I think that's a sharp guy, the first millennial to be into politics right now as presidential candidate. I think a lot of things Vivek says is spot on, and I can't wait to see him on the debate stage. Right, Biden, or the GOP. What do you mean they got choices? So, in my opinion, I say the Black community are paired, like they're 90% Democratic voters. And what I was trying to say is that the Democrats are choosing who the party or who the voters should vote for, instead of how usually is the voters that decide who's going to win the primary. In the Democratic Party, in the Democrat platform, they got something called super delegates, where effectively the party actually chooses who the candidates will be. The Democratic National Committee could choose who the candidate is. And the Democratic National Committee put out a video or whatever during Biden's reelection campaign or whatever. There's news out there. You guys can find it. They're not going to sponsor any primary debates. So Biden has no incentive to really show up to any primary debates right now because he's the guy. And the DNC said they won't sponsor any other person but Biden. So effectively, they're making the Democratic voters say, hey, y'all got to stand behind Biden, even though based on polling, half of Democrats don't want Biden to rerun for election because they know Biden's vulnerable right now. Literally, any Democrat, like Robert Kennedy Jr., I believe I said his name right, hopefully. He could run against Biden, and the Democrat Party will pick him over Biden because people are tired of Biden already. Biden has the lowest approval ratings, right? Inflation's off the roof. No one thinks he's doing a good job. 25% of Americans, only 25% of Americans say they want him to run again for re-election. And that's all of America. This is not Democrat, Republican, or nothing. No. Or if you ask for a Republican, it's at 10%. So no one wants Biden. But the Democratic Party, not the Democratic Party, the Democratic National Committee is sitting here and telling people, nah, y'all got to vote for Biden. And if you don't vote for Biden, you ain't black. that's the message that the black community got. And all I'm saying is, if black community was more non-party affiliated, then it wasn't so loyal to the Democratic Party, they could be like, oh, y'all just gonna give us Biden? Okay, we'll just vote for Trump and make Trump win then. But the way the current politics is set up, the black community doesn't have anybody fighting for its vote because the black community, and you look at the stats, they're one of the most loyal voters to the Democratic Party. And I'm trying to change that, one video at a time, hopefully, try to make some solid points and getting black Americans to rethink their loyalty and ties to the Democratic Party. That's all I'm trying to do right here. But hey, I digress. Let's be honest. That 10% are just trolls. Look into the Paul and their Daisy Soros and how Ramaswamy was sent to school by that foundation. Liberals. This one thing, liberals have a history of sending like poor kids that never made it anywhere into these like highly prominent elite institutions and like prep schools and all that stuff, so they can get influence You know, it's like you know how when my mom always said there's nothing free in this world. So when someone do you a favor, you are in the back of your mind, you kind of expect them to like cash in on that favor. And I think a lot of liberals do that type of stuff. So, but yeah, I love Vivek though. Like Vivek, to me, he got a future in politics. I think he has to be in somebody's board. Like he has to be an advisor somewhere, because that man could do some damage, boy. I read his books. Like I haven't finished reading it. The Nation of Victims. That book woke me up to identity politics. Yo, he's a wealth of knowledge, bro. I think if more politicians were as knowledgeable about some of the things they touch and some of the policies that they make and understanding the effects of their policies, I think the country would have been in a lot better position than it is right now. But I'm digressing because I only got a couple minutes left and I'm at like the last part. So Tucker Carlson draws in 18 million and counting with video statement. As you guys know or may not know, Tucker Carlson got fired from Fox News. And he released a video statement. You know, he drew 18 million people and still counting on his first video statement following his surprise departure from the network. Carlson dropped the video, which ran just over 2 minutes in length, via Twitter on Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. At almost exactly the time that fans would normally have watched his Tucker Carlson Tonight. That's crazy. The popular host, who routinely drew in an average audience of 3 million in his primetime slot, had reached more than 6 times that, 18.7 million by midday on Thursday, less than 24 hours after the video went live. And here's the video. I'm going to play a little bit of it.
Good evening, it's Tucker Carlson. One of the first things you realize when you step outside the noise for a few days is how many genuinely nice people there are in this country. Kind and decent people, people who really care about what's true, and a bunch of hilarious people also, a lot of those. It's got to be the majority of the population, even now. So that's heartening. The other thing you notice when you take a little time off is how unbelievably stupid most of the debates you see on television are.
It is, bro. And Tucker Carlson, I think he has a future on the internet, bro. Like I wherever this man goes, bro. Like imagine he put a 2 minute out. He put a 2 minute video on Twitter, where Twitter's not known for video, and he got 22 million views, bro. This man can walk. I think this man can go to Spotify and demand $100 million contract today, bro. I don't know what Fox News was doing, bro. But hey, like, you know, there's rumors that it's because he was religious, overly religious. His speech at American Heritage Foundation was probably the main reason he got let go. So in the video, Carlson made no mention of his former employer. Instead, his positive message focused on observation made once he stepped away from the media bubble, namely that there are a lot truly kind and generous and hilarious people out there, and Americans still have an appetite for people who will tell them the truth. I would vote for him if he ran for president. Hey, I would too. But I don't think I don't know. I don't think he wants to get into politics like that. I think he wants to continue commentating, whatever. I think he's going to start his own thing, just like Megyn Kelly started her own thing. Right? She has her own little show and for, I think it's Cyrus Radio. So I think Tucker can do something like that. But I don't know. I think Tucker could get a Rumble exclusive deal. And a lot of people are speculating about that. He can get a Rumble deal. And I think, who was it? I think it was Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was saying he can get a Spotify deal. So, hey, I don't see why not, right? So 50 million people, according to, So, obviously, we already know Tucker Carlson, he the best. So, as you guys always know, I always try to end it off on with a video, which is the topic of this stream. I think pretty much that's what everyone came for. Why equity is flawed. Equity is flawed because equity assumes that it's possible for people to have an equal outcome, when in reality, as human beings, we're all born separate individuals. There's no way in hell any of you or me or anyone else could have equal outcomes, because we all make different decisions. We all have different talents, traits, genetics. So how can a government, how can anyone, for that matter, claim that they can give you and me the same outcomes in life, when me and you don't probably put in the same amount of effort, probably don't have the same amount of knowledge, experience, skill, right? If I'm trying to be a power forward, I'm only 6'1", I'm not going to be successful at a power forward compared to you on the other side. If you happen to be 6'7", you'll be more successful at it. So how can anyone claim that they can do an equal outcome, equality of outcome. What I believe in is equality of opportunity. Everyone has a shot, but not everyone will make it. The result is up to you, right? The result, the outcomes, right? Because in the day, what this country was founded on was life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I emphasize the pursuit because in the day, the pursuit of happiness is an individual endeavor. The government is only supposed to be a referee, in my view. So, along with my long monologue, let's get into this video. This video is from the National Review, and this is done by a guy named Douglas Murray. And I recently found out about him from a video I watched. Shout out to Rattlesnake TV. I think that's how I found out about this guy. British guy. I just bought one of his books. I think it's War on the West. And he also has another book called Madness of Crowds. And this guy, he's against woke culture. And I'm with him 100%. Nah, they just make the 6 dudes the squad. And that's the point of equality, right? If they see, oh, this height gives you an advantage, okay, we'll give you a handicap to make everything equal. But how's that fair to the other person? You're restricting his rights. You're restricting his movements. Remember, rights is about, hey, what you can freely do without the permission of others. And if someone comes up to you and say, hey, you got to wear this weighted vest because you're too fast, and we're trying to make everything equal, that's a burden on you. They're coercing you. It's the same thing with compelled speech, with the transgender law in Canada. They're compelling you to do something against your will without your consent, without taking your consent into consideration, without taking your will into consideration. I first saw him in a video criticizing Islam precisely, and even since he has been very logical and persuasive. And yeah, Douglas Murray is good with language. Like the way he speaks, I hope to one day be as articulate as him. Because this guy, whoa, this man, oh my God. I saw him in the Muck debate against, I forgot his name, Malcolm Gladwell. Oh my God, wrecked him. Wrecked him. But enough about me hyping up Douglas Murray. Let his speech do the talking. So we'll get into the video, and as usual, I'll give my thoughts throughout the video, and we should wrap it up pretty soon.
The issue of meritocracy in America and the wider West at the moment is a fascinating issue because we're totally torn on it. Let me attempt to sort of mend part of that tear in the following phrase. You all know the idea of straw manning. If you don't know the idea of straw manning, you should see my recent debate with Malcolm Gladwell in Canada, where he gave a superb masterclass in what it is to straw man an opponent's argument. I want to do the opposite of that on the issue of meritocracy and steel man the argument. What is the argument that we could actually agree on as the issue in meritocracy in a society like ours in America? And I would say that it's something like this, that nobody should be held back from attaining whatever it is that they can attain by dint of their virtues and achievements simply because of some characteristic over which they have no say.
For instance, being tall, being fit, being athletic, right? Because I'll be honest with you, based on my genetics, I was born naturally lean, right? So I had a good aerobic base. That's a significant advantage in sports, right? If I build up muscle, I'll have that athletic lean look, right? And some people, they'll have a different disposition from me. They might have genetics where they accumulate fat more than me. So they have to work a lot harder to get my level of physique or to be seen as athletic or to be as mobile as I am, right? And people will see that as a disadvantage. Oh my God, you have skinny privilege, thin privilege is what they try to define everything. They try to define every advantage that someone has as some type of privilege that they didn't work for, right? If I'm smart, right, people won't say, "Oh, you privileged because you're smart." No, I read a bunch of books. I put time into learning and deep diving and researching these topics so I could sit here and speak about them. This is not a natural talent I had. Yeah. I have a drive to learn and seek knowledge, but you can make the argument that that's a willingness. I was willing to learn. And because I'm willing to learn and fall through with it, that's how I obtained the skills that I have today. But a lot of people, they don't like to see the work that it takes to get to where you at. They just want to see the results and then to absolve themselves of responsibility so they don't have to look into the mirror and be like, damn, this guy made it. How come I couldn't make it? It's easier to just try to say, oh, you didn't work for it. Oh, you got lucky. Oh, you were born with natural talent that you didn't have to work for. So that way it doesn't look bad on them that they didn't achieve anything in their life. Because they can always say, oh, I'm black. America's racist. The white man can't get off my neck. That's why I'm not successful in life. I have every disadvantage in the book. That's why I couldn't make it. Right? They're just looking for alibis. And this is one of the ways they'll do it. By saying you have privilege. You graduated from MIT. Oh, you're a white man. Of course you did. Right? Like as if like you just showed up and they just gave you the MIT degree. Right? People make all these upfront assumptions about people, whether positive or negative. If you're a black person and you're in the dumps or you're poor or you're unsuccessful, they'll automatically believe your sob story saying, oh, you grew up disadvantaged without knowing anything about you personally. They'll agree with that assumption about you. And then you find out, oh, you're a rich kid? Oh, damn, you're black? You came from a rapper's family? Oh, damn, I didn't know that. You squandered. What are you doing still poor? You squandered an opportunity. But people don't want to self-reflect like that. They want to find reasons for things not being their fault. Because the hardest thing you can say is look in the mirror and say, the reason that I'm in this negative situation today is because of decisions I made in the past. That's a hard pill to swallow for many people. And this goes back to my whole thesis about pain and pleasure. People are running away from pain. And that's one of the most painful things an individual can ever admit to themselves. That a lot of the bad outcomes, a lot of the successes that they couldn't reach was because of them and their decisions, not because of anyone else. And this is why a lot of black people hold on to this fact that racism exists in this country. It does. At a personal level, it does. But there's no law out there stopping you from doing what you need to do to be successful in life. That's on you. But hey, people looking for alibis. That's all I'm going to say. So let me get back into the video. Before I go back, I would destroy the current sports industry. It will destroy. Yes, it would. Because sports are the ultimate meritocracy. Thank you, legendary pony. I'm going to call you by your first name. Yeah, I know you can't spell right now. Bro, look, you see, like, this is another reason why technology is bad. We become so reliant on it that I'm so reliant on spell check, bro. It's ridiculous, bro. Bro. It's ridiculous. The boomers looking at us like, you guys can't spell. You guys can't speak. These girls say like every other sentence. It's crazy out here. But hey, I digress. Yeah, but this stuff, diversity, inclusion, like imagine if there was a DEI program for sports, for basketball. There's not a lot of white people in this league. Let's artificially put white people in the NBA. It'll lower the quality of the game. No one's going to sit there and watch a subpar game. We come to watch sports to watch the best of the best. And if the best of the best happen to be 90% black, so be it. Bruh. But then when the outcome operates in the reverse, engineering is majority white, straight males. Bruh. What's wrong with that? They're the best of the best, right? They're the best for the job. It shouldn't matter if they're mostly white and black people barely get into that field. We want the best of the best. Now they're trying to do DEI for doctors. Or imagine that. So now you're trying to scare people when they see a black doctor. You're going to be like, damn, did he really become a doctor or did he just get a handout? Bruh. And this dumb idea, this dumb Marxist idea of anti-racism where the only way you can rectify racism is to use racism as if it's like to cancel each other out. Like, I'm like, yo, you dumb. No, bruh. Racism will build in more racism. Anti-racism will push more racism. Because at the end of the day, anti-racism operates on the assumption that someone is racist because of their skin color. Is that not racist? Is that not? It's just as racist as you assume that someone is dumber than you because of their skin color. Like, I don't know how these people be doing these mental gymnastics, but I went on a rant long enough. Let's get back to the Douglas Murray and meritocracy.
Something like that. It may not be perfect, but something like that we're aiming for. That the idea of a meritocracy is that nothing should hold you back if you have the capabilities to fulfill your goals. So if you have the capacity to be on the board of a company, you shouldn't not be on the board because you're gay or because you're a woman or because you're from ethnic minority. The interesting thing about this is I think we have almost total unanimity in a society like America about that question. If you look at the polls, almost nobody doesn't agree with the aim as I've just set it out. That nothing should hold you back if you have the capability, simply because of something which you have no say over.
And this is one of the things I want to kind of comment on, is because a lot of people will talk about, oh, we need more black doctors. Okay, where are you going to find them at? You're going to have to what? Lower the bar. And what happens when you lower the bar? You inadvertently, not inadvertently, you will create more harm in the future. Right? Black doctors, they'll be like, oh, there's an epidemic. Black doctors are not performing at the same level as white doctors. Then you're going to call that racial disparity, and you're going to say, oh, look, this is proof of racism. Black people are getting inadequate education. No, it's because you lower the bar for black people. You allow people who, if you had kept the bar the same, if you have kept the rules the same, they would not have been doctors in the first place. But then you mismatch them with the wrong job, and they're underperforming in that. This is one of my main arguments against affirmative action. Affirmative action set a lot of people up for failure. Right now, a bunch of Asian people are suing Yale or Harvard because there's too many Asian people in Harvard, and there's not enough space for them for the black kids, the misrepresented kids. People act like college is the reason why these kids are successful. No, college is just a filtering system. These kids that go to Harvard and Yale, they're already way smart. It's just Harvard gives them the opportunity to get access to information, and then in return, Harvard gets to claim, oh, this person used to graduate from Yale. Look at how successful he is. What in my argument would be, regardless if Yale existed or not, that person would already be successful because he had the skills, the intelligence already. And Harvard just filter out people who fit that mold, and then claim credit that, oh, look, they graduated from Harvard. They come from a prestigious school. Like, this is the case. Like, they trying to, I guess this is false perception in our culture where we believe that if a kid goes to college, they're going to come out super smart, top of the A of the class. Like, no, I think they already had it in them. Right. And anyway, college has a high dropout rate anyway. So those who's going to be successful, they're going to be successful regardless if college is there or not. It's just they chose college as an avenue, and that's my only thing. So for this idea of DEI in college admissions, like we need more black people in our colleges, as if college is going to help the black person become more successful in life, it's folly in my view. Because end of the day, affirmative action, they show it. Black kids that get into colleges through affirmative action have higher dropout rates than black kids that didn't go through affirmative action to get their spot in college. It's common sense, right? But these people, to appease their own feelings so they can feel like they're doing something good, they want to put this nonsense out in the open and discriminate against another minority group so they can give a misrepresented group an opportunity when the misrepresented group didn't deserve that opportunity. Man, I digress. Like, to me, affirmative action, these policies, they do more harm than good. You're setting up these people to fail. Affirmative action open up people for mismatches. Objectively, you weren't qualified for this position, but because you happen to be a underrepresented minority group, they lowered the standards to let you in. And then when you go out here, do a bad job, Alvin Bragg, Harvard law graduate, right? Try to get Trump on some charges that everyone didn't want to touch. The DOJ didn't want to touch. The attorneys before him didn't want to touch. But all of a sudden he think, oh, I got him. I got Trump. I'm going to indict Trump. You indict him, and then you do nothing with it. Bruh. Harvard law graduate, Alvin Bragg. Look it up. Everyone who didn't go to Harvard knew he didn't have a case, but he thought he had a case. I'm just telling you, man. You could look at this. There's extensive studies on this. That affirmative action causes more harm than good. And this is one of the reasons I like Vivek, because Vivek said, hey, first when I get in office, executive order, he's going to repeal affirmative action that was made in 1964 by, what's his name? I forgot his name. Lyndon B. Johnson. Like, this might be a live stream video I might do about how liberals destroyed black academic success because they do policies like this. That you lower the bar and then people just rose for the bar and then they become mediocre or nothing at all. Because when I go out into this world, I'm not trying to be, I'm trying to be the best black YouTuber. I'm trying to be the black this, the black that. No, I'm trying to be the best, whatever. I don't tie myself to my race. This is why I'm against identity politics. This is why I think CRT is garbage, trash, Get that away from me and my family. Don't teach my kid none of that nonsense. Stats already prove the CRT causes negative effects to those who are exposed to it. Kids after getting exposed to CRT material report lower self-esteem, especially if they're black, because you teach them this idea that, oh, because they're black, they're disadvantaged, that they're inferior. And this is the kind of message we want to teach our kids.
Nope.
You ain't teaching. You ain't mentally handicapping my kid with that mindset. Because they already show there's a lot of stats. A lot of things show whether you can be successful or not. One of those is if you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset. What CRT teaches you? A growth mindset or a fixed mindset? I'll wait. It's a fixed mindset. Oh, you can't be oh, you're a black man. You can't be successful in this country. America's a racist country. White people are successful because of white privilege. That's a fixed mindset. A growth mindset is, hey, if I got the skills, if I got the experience, if I got the talent, I could be successful in this country. It's just I have to be willing to work hard for it. I have to be willing to be disciplined to fall through with my talents, to maximize my talents. That's a growth mindset. And I think that's what we need in our country now more than ever. Because right now, identity politics is just trying to teach everyone a fixed mindset. Oh, you're disadvantaged because you're a woman. You're disadvantaged because you're black, Indian, Asian. This country's against you because you're this, that. Like this is not a message for self-reliance. It's a message of dependence. That's what our culture is trying to teach us, to be dependent on something and somebody. Either that be a corporation's product or a government institution like the Democratic Party. And this will happen with the black community. If you have a problem between voting for me or Donald Trump, then you ain't black. Bruh. Your boy Joe Biden said that. Fixed mindset. He perpetuates this image that you're not of a certain skin color if you decide to vote something else. That's a fixed mindset. And this is how the Democrat Party keeps the black people loyal to them. Pander to them, say, hey, the Republicans are against you because of your skin color. Effectively pigeonholing you to one party. But I went on enough on a rant already. Let's get back into meritocracy.
The problem about this is, and one of the reasons why America in particular is so confused about the issue of meritocracy in the 21st century, is because left and right have arrived at very different ideas of how to address this question. Now, there's a critique of the rights attitude, but let me roughly lay out what I see as the rights attitude. The rights attitude on this question is something like this. It's a gradualist approach. And this has an enormous amount to be said for it. We've heard from educationalists and others, and we will do later today. The gradualist approach is that if we set up, if not the optimal conditions, at least as optimal conditions as we can set up, then this society in which people can achieve and flourish whatever their own characteristics, whatever they've started from, will occur. To my mind, it remains the best answer. However, there is a critique of it. And the critique, largely, comes from the left, says it's complacent. And among other things, it takes too long.
And that's the problem with our political system, especially with our culture. We want instant gratification. We want it right now, right? If you told a millennial, hey, you want an apple? Yeah. Okay, here's a seed, plant it. It'll take 10 years for it to grow, and you'll finally get your first apple. That's too long. I can't do that. I'd rather spend money and get the apple myself. That's the culture we're breeding today. And that's like I'm saying, our culture is literally making us more susceptible for government intervention, big government, Democratic Party. And I blame Hollywood, our cultural institutions, conservatives in a part for not fighting in these institutions to remain in these institutions, to the point where the left seems to control everything. And now here we are. Oh, it takes too long. No, but if it takes long, it means it's more sustainable, right? Who's going to keep more of their gains? A dude that takes steroids and work out, or a dude that got his gains naturally? And both of them decide not to work out for 3 weeks. The dude on steroids is going to start losing his gains because he got it artificially. And that's what people want. They want instant gratification. It's baffling. It's see how it comes full circle? People who vote Democrat, they want someone to do something. Even if the action that person does in the short term might work, but in the long term will detrimentally hurt them, it doesn't matter. Welfare is a big example of this concept. Hey, let these black people figure out their own standards. Let them build it up from the ground up on their own, so that way they can sustain themselves over time. No, government has to come in. No, we gotta save these people. These 25% of single moms that can't do anything in this economy, who can't work for themselves. We need to help them. At the time, single motherhood was only 25% in the black community. Lenny B. Johnson put up his war of poverty, incentivized the black woman to choose the husband, to choose to kick the man out of the house and choose the government as her new husband. Put this cultural idea that they don't need no man. 50, 60 years later, in 2023, the black single motherhood rate is at 78%. And all the negatives that come with being a single mom: you're more likely to be in poverty, more likely to live in high crime areas. Your kids have a higher degree of dropping out of school compared to two-parent household kids. Your kids more likely to do drugs, drop out of school, commit crime, live in poverty, which is limited access to resources. And you wonder why the black community is in the situation it is today. But remember, they went for the quick solution. Oh yeah, I need this right now. I need this government money right now. But then the long-term consequences, you see the results in the community. And this is how I like to view the two parties. Republicans, you won't get no immediate benefit from voting Republican, but over the long term, it's better for our community, the country as a whole. Democratic policies, you get immediate result. You will get immediate result, whether good or bad. You'll get immediate result. Spend a lot of trillions of dollars, and then you get immediate inflation. But it don't matter because it addresses a need right now. But in the long term, it hurts the country and future generations because of the choices that you decided, the policies that Democrats tend to put into place. But hey, man, I'm digressing too much. Let's get into the video.
So, in recent years, the left, again, particularly in America, has been busying itself away with its own attempt to address this question. Sometimes in good faith, very often not. And its answer, of course, is equity. Its answer is, we will not reach that point of meritocratic goal unless we actually live in a country in which, by the way, only high-status professions can be demonstrated to show equity. So, for instance, we will base our ideas on a whole set of industries and accomplishments on Hollywood. Brilliant. Take the least representative part of society in which people only advance because they're attractive, very rarely because of their intelligence. Take that bit of society, roll it out, complain that this female actress only got 20 million, poor thing, where the male actor got 25 million, and claim that no one will be free unless this multi-millionaire gets the same salary as the Top Gun actor or whatever. Another example is boards. I mentioned them earlier. People in America now on the meritocratic issue are obsessed with boards.
And this is a similar argument that Jordan Peterson talks about with the boards of directors. Like, it seemed like women and all these feminists, they only care about the white collar jobs. They don't care about the bricklayers. 99% of bricklayers are men. Why ain't you trying to equalize that? Men who work in the majority of men work construction. Why ain't you not trying to equalize that? Most men are the majority of oil drillers are men, like 90%. Why ain't you trying to equalize that? Jordan Peterson made a good point there. He pointed out all the hard labor jobs and say, why you're not trying to equalize this, but you're trying to equalize the top 1% of society, CEOs. Statistically, men start more businesses than women. So would it be surprising that most men are CEOs? Bruh. Nope. Most women, it seem like they just want the men to build it and then to move in. The perfect example of females, how feminists operate with affirmative action, representation, women in whatever industry here, is the idea of the treehouse. When the dad and the boy and the sons, when the sons are building the treehouse, the daughter has no interest in this treehouse whatsoever. She said, oh, that looks hard. Oh, you guys are slaving away. You're sweating in the hot ass sun. I don't want no part of that. And then when the father and the son are finished building the treehouse, the daughter sees it. She says, oh my God, look how nice it is. Let me go in there and play. And as what's the common thing? the son goes, you're not gonna go into this tree house. Me and dad finished building this tree house, and after we finish and done, now you want to come and play in the tree house? And what the girl does, she goes and cries to an authority figure. That's feminism.
Bruh.
That's feminism. Cry to the government. Oh my God, all the men start all the businesses. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to deal with the risk. I don't want to deal with Amazon just being a bookstore. But now that Amazon's $1 billion, $1 trillion company, now women want to be the CEOs of Amazon. After Jeff Bezos already built it and made it to what it is today. This is the world we live in. You're noticing a theme here, right? You see it. Instant gratification. Oh, I don't want to sit there and go through the toils of creating a business, but I'd rather be at the top of it once it's already completed and stable and done, and it's the cool thing to do. I don't know what to say. And it's an interesting video. I'll leave the link in the description below. I kind of gave my thoughts in length about this topic, about how equity is flawed. No one can really give an equal outcome without handicapping or artificially uplifting someone else. And even when you do artificially uplift someone else, you open them up to more problems. They'll get inflated ego. They'll overestimate their abilities because they don't realize that you lowered the bar for them to be in those positions. They become arrogant, and when you become arrogant, you make more mistakes. This is what kind of things that equity opens people up to. All you have to do is look at affirmative action. I already told you, affirmative action sets up a lot of people to fail because it creates mismatch theory. It sets you up for a position or a role that you were not prepared to actually go into, and then you'll be surprised when you fail at it because they didn't evaluate you on your skills or experience. They evaluated you on a quota. And when a hiring manager is looking at you and saying, "Oh, I need to get my DEI quota," they'll lower the standards on other areas to make you qualify so they can hire you, so they can fulfill that quota. The goal no longer becomes trying to hire the person best for the job and meritocracy. It becomes about diversity. Oh, how much of this quota can I meet? How much of underrepresented groups can I meet? Can I put into places of power? And that's what this board thing is all about. Oh, in California, you can't start a company unless you have one underrepresented group in your board as a member of your board. What?
Bruh.
Artificially putting people in place where they had no business being there. And then when people get mad, oh, women are going to be offended. Black people are going to be offended when, oh, you're a black doctor. Oh, you graduate. Oh, did you really get in there, or did you get there through affirmative action? When there's this stigma that goes around being like, oh, people don't want to get seen by black doctors because there's this stigma. Oh, black people get into colleges based on affirmative action. You hurt the very minority group you claim to be helping with this policy. You don't help somebody by lowering the standards. You help them to rise to the standards, rise to the occasion. This is why I don't like CRT. This is why I think CRT is garbage. This is why I don't want CRT nowhere near my children. Because I made it in this country. I didn't need no CRT. I didn't need no affirmative action. I got there through my own skill, knowledge, and abilities to where I'm at today. But yeah, I digress. Let's get into this. I want him to finish his board point, and then I'll probably end the video and wish you guys a good night.
Most people in America, of course, do not spend their lives sitting on company boards. There was a recent, as Vivek can I'm sure address, there was recent legislation a few years ago in California which insisted that companies, if they were going to be publicly registered in California, had to have certain representation on the boards from certain minorities. And there were certain ethnic minorities they insisted must be on them, including Pacific Islanders.
Where are you going to find those?
Oh, and also trans people. And I got a friend of mine, I'm not a math guy, I'm a know-nothing humanities type. And, but I got a math friend of mine to crunch the numbers on this. And we worked out that if the number of companies in California remained what they are now, which doesn't seem likely, but were that to happen, if you are a Pacific Islander who lives in California or a trans person who lives in California, you should clear your diary for the 2020s. You are going to be dashing from board meeting to board meeting. You're going to be doing the petroleum companies in the morning. You're going to have to be doing every university in the afternoon. It's going to be no fun.
Yeah, it's just statistics. It's the bound of probabilities, right? If you're only 13% of the population, is it realistically to expect half of you guys to be represented? Especially when you don't do the actions that actually get you the outcomes that are required of these people, right? Like I made the example with women. Oh, women complain, oh, there's not enough women CEOs. Okay, do you know men are overwhelmingly the ones that start businesses and fail at the same time? Like, yeah, men are overrepresented in successful businesses, starting businesses, and failing at businesses. Are you surprised most of the CEOs are men?
Bruh.
Women's psychology favors stability. Men's psychology favors risk taking. You know, this is why we men commit more crimes. We participate in more risky behavior. This is why women live longer. But there's an advantage to that. Like with anything, when you're predisposed to something, you're predisposed to an advantage and a disadvantage. This is why I say equity is flawed. This is why I agree with everything that Douglas Murray says in this video. Equity is flawed. Now, guys, I want to wrap this up. If you want to watch the rest of the video, I'll leave the link in the description of this live stream after I'm done with the live stream. I really appreciate you guys for coming out, watching the live stream. I guess everyone's done talking. So I'll leave you at that. I hope everyone has a good night. Happy weekend, everyone. I'll see you guys on the next video. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Comment below any topics you guys want me to go over or review, and I might think about it for the next live stream. I really do appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. Don't forget to like the stream. It really helps my videos get pushed out there. I really do appreciate you guys for watching the stream. Thank you for spending an hour and 30 minutes with me. I really do appreciate it. Good luck. Good night. Yes, it's like 10:25 p.m. right now. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so